नरघट तक है तेरी कहानी पग पग प्यारे दंगल 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 सूरज तेरा चढ़ता ढलता गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे दंगल 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 दंगल.
Great morning, my dear friends. Bhupesh, Anand again this side. So we are in lecture number 2. We are doing fixed income markets, and within that, issue, trading, and funding. This is the name of the reading, and today we'll be starting with learning outcome number B. That is what is the meaning of interbank offer rate? Describe interbank offer rate, how it is used as a reference rate. So we will be putting today the light on Libor, Mibor, Eurubor and all those reference rates, interbank offer rates. So today's lecture is helpful to you in different subjects in CFA level number 1. So please take out your registers, and LSB we are doing with describe the use of interbank offer rate as a reference rate. As a reference rate, it means we are using the interbank offer rate as a reference rate for floating rate debts. I have already told you that debts can be or different categories, and the first category which we have discussed is floating rate bond. Coupon structures are dependent upon the floating rates, and when I say floating rate, it depends upon the reference rate plus some spread in that. Now that reference rate we generally take it as an interbank offer rate. Now what is the meaning of an interbank? When one bank grants a loan to another bank, that is named as interbank, as the name indicates. Very easy. When one bank gives a loan to another bank, that transaction, that is named as interbank. Now the rate at which this bank offers the loan to this bank, that expected rate on unsecured loan by one bank to another bank is named as interbank offer rate. You're getting my point? So today we'll be putting this, describe the use of interbank offer rate. So I have told you what is the meaning of interbank. When I say interbank, it means when one bank gives a loan to another bank, that is named as interbank transaction. And the rate at which that loan is being granted by one bank to another bank, that is named as interbank offer rate. And that is on unsecured loan, and that is expected to be in the future. So please write down point number 1. I have written example that HDFC Bank is granting loan to Axis Bank as a case may be. So when one bank gives a loan to another bank, that is interbank offer rate. So second point I have written, what is the meaning of interbank offer rate? It is based on expected rates for unsecured loan. The first point is it is expected rate for unsecured loan. In interbank money markets, it means it is money market. It means it is less than 360 days. We generally take a convention of 360 days. It means it is less than 1 year, maximum up to 360 days. And when one bank offers a loan to another bank, the rate at which they are offering is considered as a reference rate, because in case of debt, that those investors, they are taking high risk as compared to banks, so at least the interbank rate must be offered to them. Along with that, we give them spread. So this company, this entity who is issuing the bonds for floating rate bonds, at least this company, this issuer will ensure that the coupon rate is more than interbank offer rate, and those are Libor, London interbank offer rate, and Mibor, Mumbai interbank offer rate, Eurubor, the bank in the rate in Europe. Similarly, we have US Libor, we have different types of Libors, we have Japanese Libor. It means when one Japanese bank is granting the loan to another Japanese bank, that is Japanese Libor. So please write down Libor, Euribor, Mibor. I think you must have written that third point. But the fourth point, I want to put some, I have already told you something about Libor in different subjects, but still I want to tell you actually what is the meaning of Libor, what are the features of Libor, what is the full form of Libor, why it is short term in nature, and how it is used as a reference rate. What are the precautions to be taken into account while using Libor as a reference rate in case of floating rate debt. So these are the points which I have written for you. First Roman is Libor. I have written the full form, London Interbank Offer Rate. London Interbank Offer Rate. It is short term. It is always short term for 30 days, for 60 days, for 90 days, for 180 days, maximum for 360 days. And these rates are not compounding. For example, you want to calculate, you are given with 90 days Libor and you want to calculate 180 days Libor. So you cannot multiply 90 days Libor with 2 and then you can calculate 180 days Libor. No, they are all different. You cannot calculate like this. They are not compounding, and they always take the convention of 360 days. So please, my dear friends, please write on fourth point, Libor. First point is London Interbank Offer Rate. It is a short term, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Currency for USD, I've just told you currency for USD Libor is for USD, for USA is US Libor. Then we have Japanese Libor, then we have European Libor. Location was this. For London Interbank Offer Rate, the location was outside USA. The convention was of 360 days and it was added on yield. No doubt that yield is to be added. That spread we will be adding, and Libor never compounds, that I have already told you. And there are different Libors for different maturities, and all are different. We cannot multiply with 2 or we cannot divide by 2 to calculate the minimum Libor or the maximum Libor. It depends on, all are separate. There is no compounding involved in that. Now, how we use this Libor interbank offer rate as the reference rate, and I have told you while doing floating rate bonds that we calculate the coupon rate, reference rate plus spread. Now that reference rate can be Libor, that can be US Libor, that can be Eurubor, that can be Japanese Libor, that I have already told you. So write down point number 5th. Libor is generally used as a reference rate for the floating rate bonds, and the formula which I have written is Libor plus spread. And what are the characteristics, what are the features of an appropriate rate, reference rate? Because we have to use that reference rate for calculating the coupon rate of floating rate bonds. So that reference rate must have some features. Because we are given with 30 days Libor, we are given with 60 days Libor, we are given with 180 days Libor, we are given with 360 days Libor. Now, which rate is to be used? There are two precautions to be taken into account. Supposedly I want to calculate a floating rate coupon rate for the bonds issued in USD, for the bonds issued in USA currency, USD, United States dollars. So the two precautions which I have to take care of, the first precaution is that I have to use US Libor because those bonds are in USD. So I have to use US Libor. And supposing those bonds have the maturity of 90 days, so I have to use USD Libor for 90 days. It means two precautions have to be taken care of. The currencies to be taken care of and the frequencies to be taken care of. Now, no matter the maturity, for example, the bond maturity is 10 years and the reference rate can be the maturity is 360 days. We are not concerned with the maturity. Maturity can differ, but the main point which we have to take into account is that the frequency should tally and the currency should tally. So please write on 6 points, very important, and I have given a case study for explaining this. An appropriate reference rate is one that matches a floating rate note, currency and frequency of rate resets. No need to match maturity. The star I have written is very important. There is no need to match this maturity. We have to just match currency as well as a frequency. So I have given the example for that also. Just I have spelled out the same example I have written, such as 6 months US dollar Libor for a semi-annual floating rate bond issued in USD. It means if a bond is issued in USD in dollars, then we should use a US Libor for 6 months. Again, with the help of a case study, I want to tell you that what are the precautions to be taken care of while using the reference rate. because it will be used to calculate coupon rate for floating bonds. So suppose there is a 10-year floating rate bond, and if coupon rate is paid semi-annually, in this case we have to decide an appropriate reference rate. Now, what is that appropriate reference rate? So it should be that should be 6 months LIBOR plus the spread percentage. And if the bond is in USD, we will use US LIBOR. And if the bond is in euro, then we will be using Euro LIBOR. And similarly, 2 points are to be taken care of. We have to match the currency and we have to match the frequency. So let's see in the Google Baba that what is the meaning of LIBOR. LIBOR or ICEBOR, previously BB LIBOR, is a benchmark rate that some of the world's leading banks charges each other for short-term loans. It means when bank gives a loan to another bank, it stands for Intercontinental Exchange London Interbank Offer Rate, and serves as the first step to calculate interest rates on various loans. It means it is the first step to be taken care of in various loans throughout the world. LIBOR is administered by this ICE Bank administration, and it has and based on 5 currencies. I have just told you: USD dollar, Euro, Pound Sterling, Japanese yen, and Swiss franc. The LIBOR serves several different maturities overnight, 1 week, 1 to 3, maximum up to 12 months. There are total of 35 different LIBORs rates each business day. The most commonly quoted rate is 3 months US dollar rate. So I have told you that I have told you the same point, that what is the meaning of LIBOR and how we can use it. So we are doing fixed income markets, and within fixed income markets today's learning outcome number B, in which we have to see that how this rate while calculating the floating rate interest rate for floating rate bonds, how that this reference rate is to be taken care of. What is the meaning of a reference rate, how to calculate it, what are the precautions to be taken care of. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Be happy, be jolly, be cheerful.